We're standing by the grave of Jasper McDonald. Jasper was one of the Union soldiers. He was an African American. He was from Sycamore, Illinois. Jasper McDonald was born in Murray, Tennessee in 1840. He listed his occupation as a farmer on enlistment papers. At some point he moved to Wisconsin. He enlisted on 17 March 1864 in Green Bay, Wisconsin, and received a $300 bonus. He was 24 years old and was 5'11" tall, which was tall for that time period. He was assigned to I Company of the 68th U.S. Colored Infantry, who were assigned in St. Louis, Missouri. The 68th then moved to Fort Pickering, Memphis, Tennessee. The 68th was sent to New Orleans, Louisiana, and then Pensacola, Florida. The 68th was then sent to Mobile Bay area and joined Major General Edward Camby's command. The 68th fought in the Battle of Fort Blakely, Alabama. The fort is located on the Blakely River just north of Mobile Bay. Confederate troops were led by Brigadier General St. John Zittle. The battle was fought from 2 April to 9 April 1865. This is considered the last major combined battle of the Civil War. The fort surrendered after fighting on 9th of April, the same day that General Lee surrendered at Appomattox. Unfortunately for Private McDonald, he was seriously wounded on 9 April 1865. He was sent to New Orleans, Louisiana for treatment. He was discharged on 1 August 1865. He received an invalid pension 20 December 1866 due to the seriousness of the wounds he suffered in battle. He joined the GAR Post 50 in Chicago. At some point he moved to Sycamore area. He died on 7 May 1891. He was 51 years old. He was buried on Soldiers Row with the other veterans of the Civil War. His headstone is deteriorated, and if you can see the rendering I have made of what his headstone looked like when it was brand new. This is the grave of John Briggs. John Briggs was born in Virginia in 1805. His wife's name was Charity Briggs, and she was born a slave in Kentucky around 1812 or 13. They had 3 children. Mary, born in 1854 in Illinois. William was born in 1862 in Wisconsin. They also had a son named John Slater, born in 1847 in Illinois. He was Chastity's son brought into the family. They lived for a time in Racine, Wisconsin. In 1864, while living in Wheeling, Illinois, John decided to enlist in the Army. He went to Quincy, Illinois to enlist in the only African American regiment in Illinois. It was the 29th Infantry Regiment, United States Colored Troops. He was assigned to Company F. The 29th was first moved to Annapolis, Maryland, and then to Alexandria, Virginia. They then participated in the siege at Petersburg, Virginia. Part of the regiment participated in the Battle of the Crater on 30 July 1864. I don't believe Company F took part in that attack, but I am sure they were on the firing line that day based on the total number of casualties that Company F suffered during the war. John became sick in Petersburg, Virginia, and on 31 August 1864, He was admitted to the hospital at City Point, Virginia. By April 1865, he was in a hospital in Alexandria, Virginia. He was mustered out of the Army on 26 June 1865 in Alexandria, Virginia. His family moved to Racine, Wisconsin, where he worked as a day laborer. In 1880, the family moved to Sycamore and were living with their grandson, William Slater. John went to work as a wood sawyer. In 1883, John received an invalid pension from the government. On 12 February 1887, John Briggs died. His wife lived the rest of her life in Sycamore. On May 3, 1867, Charity received a widow's pension from the government. In the unmarked grave next to John is Charity Briggs. Charity Briggs was born in 1812 or 1813 in Kentucky as a slave. She had a son named John Slater in 1847 in Illinois by a father who is unknown. She met and married John Briggs and had 2 children, Mary born in 1854 in Illinois and William born in 1862 in Wisconsin. The family lived in Racine, Wisconsin and Wheeling, Illinois before moving to Sycamore at some time during the 1870s. In Sycamore, they lived with their grandson, William Slater. John died 12 February 1887. She received a widow's pension on 3 May 1887. According to her obituary, she lived a useful life and was greatly esteemed by everyone. She was known about town as Aunt Charity. She was the only colored member of the First Baptist Church in Sycamore. She died on 19 November 1912 at the home of her son, where she had been living. Once again, the tombstone is eroded, and I have a rendering of what it looked like when it was new. Thank you for joining us on this part of the cemetery walk.